Speaking of the flooding in Louisiana, we now know that flooding has killed 13 people at minimum. It has damaged at least 60,000 homes across 20 parishes. We have more video from member Roland Spano Jr., longtime member, who has been working in rescue efforts, and he actually drove around and showed us, gave us sort of a tour of the horrific devastation. Take a look at.
All right, David, this is what disaster recovery looks like. This is in Livingston Parish, Denham Springs. Was helping my brother-in-law recover stuff today. So this entire neighborhood experienced the flooding here. Most people had between 2.5 to 4 feet of water in the house.
So just so much stuff stacked up everywhere there. Trash and devastation. We're learning a lot more. Not all of the areas affected required flood insurance. So we talked about areas that should have had flood insurance but didn't. Some of the affected areas, and this really gets to us talking about climate change and how sea level rise and so many other issues are going to have a systemic long-term impact here. Some of these areas were not even considered so at risk that flood insurance was required.
Yeah, that's going to be an increasingly common problem, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's sad, and watch out. It's unfortunately not something you should have to consider, but if you live near the coast, be careful.
And many of the climate deniers often refuse to even accept the impact of this, saying, well, we can just move inland or whatever, and that's not going to be a big deal. Well, this is also affecting food supply because the high water in Louisiana and in Arkansas have really hurt the country's rice harvest. Much of the Louisiana crop was harvested before the flood, but not all. In Arkansas, farmers had just started harvesting before the rainy weather began, and now the flooding has really damaged. So farmers are losing out, and this is why people who believe that they're siloed, oh, I'm in the middle of the country, and I don't care about people on the coast or just inland of the coast. If that next becomes the coastal area, once the actual current coasts are underwater, I don't care. Well, we're talking about food supply. And then, of course, if food supply is damaged, the income of those farmers will be affected. They'll have less money to go out and buy tractors and machinery. For people, Jason, who say, not my problem, it's not going to affect me, it's such a naive way to look at the issue of climate change.
I think it plays perfectly into Trump's new platform. It can't get any worse.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's the way that, and the unfortunately, the thing is, people aren't actually connecting what's going on in indifference to climate change to what we see, and weather and climate are separate, but broader changes in climate will exacerbate extremes in terms of individual weather events. I don't know. I mean, people, it's at this point, if you're still denying what is going on, I don't know that there's going to be any science that is going to convince you otherwise.
Probably not. And maybe you're not even a denier, but it's just hard for you to see the bigger picture and how this affects everyone and everything.
On the bonus show today, Lewis is questioning some viral online videos. We will talk about some defective military helmets made by inmate labor. And we will also talk about ramen noodles replacing tobacco as the currency of choice in some American prisons. Those stories and more on today's bonus show. Only one way to sign up for the bonus show. Get instant access by becoming a member at davidpakman.com/membership. Hatriot40 as a coupon code. Hatriot40 will still get you a 40% discount.